Tell you what else sucks. Just thinking about the TikTok video you were talking about.
What?
When you've been dumped by a friend. Like I've been dumped by a friend before.
Oh yeah, I got
and I
ghosted by a
recently,
friend.
my close friend and I, we
A
are
best friend.
yes,
I
yes,
thought.
yes, I did
thought.
too. I did too. But one of my other close. I never used the term best friend as an adult, but she would be considered this like. We are rebuilding our friendship, and it is definitely that awkward phrase. Yeah, it's just in a different level because
it is always gonna be different, and it doesn't mean that like
I mean it's just in a different because
it's
we're
like
different
hate
people
or anything.
We're
but,
different
like,
people
it's
now.
Yeah,
We got different things going on in our life. We used to talk to each other every single day.
That's why
Like now
kids-
we're rebuilding, but like we both don't like to be on the phone like talking about. Like I'm busy being a mama, she busy doing her life or whatever, and just it's just hard. So like. We went to brunch twice. And the first brunch we went to, like, we talked and everything. And I told her she was on one of my therapy lists. One of the things I listed in therapy. I was like, I was close to losing a very close friend. I'm like, I love her to death. And so I told her, I was like, yeah, you're on, I shyly said it. I was saying, like, yeah, girl, I got this on my list. And I was like, and you're on there too.
Girl, mine on it is still on it because that stuff that hurts.
We
and
almost
also,
like
that's
it almost like really came
like
close to like ending, and I was like, I love this chick to death.
And then you
stuff,
still get
like,
grieve what your relationship used to be.
And then
even
like
when you do have like some semblance, it's still not what it
and
was.
when it was. I say hot and heavy. When we were deep,
Stop.
I know. When we were deep, I had to tell her, I was like, look, I don't want you or nothing, but like, I said, I ain't crushing on you. I don't want you, but I said, but I really love you and I want you in my life. But, and the feeling's mutual, But when our friendship really kind of started to fizzle was when I had moved to Shreveport. And I didn't realize what I was doing. Like, I was just focused on any free moment I was coming down to Monroe to see Larry, my boyfriend or whatever. So, like, my friends that were not in Monroe or not in Shreveport, I didn't see, and she was one of them. And so, through that,
Well, it's like TLC, what about your friends?
Okay, yeah.
What about your friends?
So, like, that kind of started whatever. And so, like, when we kind of started going our separate ways, like, we were young. I wasn't married, I still had a boyfriend. Like, we were living a certain life. And so it's like at this point, like with any of my friends, we not going to be on the same level we were 10 years ago. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just not. But then, like, having to rebuild a friendship that started fizzling 10 years ago as adults is different. We gotta find our footing.
Adult friendships can be difficult without communication because nobody has time. And it doesn't matter whether you have kids, a spouse, or not. Nobody literally has time. At minimum, everybody's working full time. At minimum,
or they sleep.
Yep.
Sleep. I had a friend totally ghost me. I don't believe it was because she crossed into a sorority and everything. I think it was because when she crossed, like, she still was like, no, we still kicking it. Like, I was still at the sorority parties and kickbacks and all that type of stuff with her and everything.
It seems like she made an active effort to make sure that I know, but like it seems like that person made an active effort to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah,
because
but it did.
She knows how.
It did happen. She ghosted me. Oh. And just like in recent years, like we've connected on like social media, like we sending each other jokes and memes every now and then or whatever, have conversations through social whatever, but like. I did miss that friendship, but like it hurt. It really, really hurt that she just should have dumped me.
So my ex-best friend, she was my best friend, y'all. She was just my best friend. She ghosted me. And we actually had time went by. It took me a minute to I'd be slow sometimes. Like,
you don't be slow, but she's like,
it took me. I was like, wait a minute,
right?
Like, yeah. So
it was a lot of that. It was like a lot of that.
I was like, wait a minute.
Am I?
And then like years later,
try again.
Years later, and I would think about it, break my brain, like, oh my God, how bad of a person, what did I do? And we didn't have an argument, we didn't have, that's the weird thing, because like,
I know what it was about, but we didn't either.
Like, we didn't have like not like a for real argument. We disagreed on stuff all the time because you're gonna not always have the same opinions as your friends. Like, we don't agree on everything, y'all. This is literally a podcast. We don't agree on everything. But come to find out, it has something to do with something. I'm not finna go into that, but it was something that was not, to me, warranted of that type of reaction. And it wasn't necessarily anything anybody did per se. It was just what things were and how she felt about how things were in things. I'm gonna say that, like, I didn't just do anything to her. She didn't do anything to me like that. But years later, we actually ended up having a drink. We went for a happy hour at Copeland's. Oh God, I miss Copeland's. Jeez, can y'all just anyway?
Girl, I used to get tipsy and fuck off them $5 martinis, honey.
I just need a
take $20 in the reverse happy hour.
Crab dip. But we actually had a drink. We had a drink, and we went and we were just talking and we caught up. And this is before she's like married and has a kid now. She wasn't married she didn't have a kid then. And like we was like, oh, you know, such and such, you know, whatever. My number's still the same since high school. So if you ever had my number, you still get it 9 times out of 10. But we didn't, you know, it never got back on track. And a couple of years later or whatever, like I would see her in public. Like I just saw her maybe a month or two ago. Her baby is so beautiful. And it's always good. There's never any negativity or anything like that. I see her mama like almost every week because of where I work out or whatever. But it's not any negativity or anything like that. We're just probably not ever gonna be friends again.
No, especially if she never said the reason why she felt the need to.
She told me.
Oh, she
told me. Yeah, she told me. I just not gonna do all that here. But you know, and she told me, and then I told her how I felt and how it made me, how I was struggling a lot.
Yeah,
I was also struggling in some other areas, and it all compiled together because it was like abandonment, and like it definitely played into like some other self-worth shit I had going on. Not saying that was the sole source of it. It was not, but it was definitely contributed to some of the stuff that I had going on right then. But like I was saying, it was like we see each other not even maybe once a year. Maybe we run it. It's a small town. But we stop and we talk to each other because we actually we do care about what's going on in each other's lives. Yeah. Like we care and we hope everybody is doing well. Yeah. And things like that. But we just are probably never going to be that type of friend, if any kind of friend, because we're not even associates right now. We just used to know each other. Yeah. At this point. And we wish positive things for each other, which is not the same thing as being associates. But yeah, you know, I mean, sometimes it just kind of is what it is. And like, we're to the point now when we do see each other, I don't make a promise to call you or anything. And she doesn't either. And that's okay. Yeah. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's just seeing, it's just, hey girl, you know, it's happy, you know, but it's just, you know, sometimes it just is what it is. And I don't think that makes anybody a bad person. That relationship is just not in existence anymore. And that's just kind of what it is. Could it have ended better? I think probably so, but it's you know, people change and get different. Yeah. And that's that friendship right there, the one that goes to me, like that really hurt me. Like I really thought we were like friends. Like I was devastated. Yeah, me too. Like it really hurt my. But the other thing is though, like I remember I had even changed my number, and something happened, and I called a friend, a mutual friend of ours, and I was like, this is what's going on. I was just really upset about it, whatever. And this particular friend, and I didn't have nobody to be with me at the time. This particular friend, mutual friend that lived out of town, called the one that ghosted me and was like, look, you don't know what's going on, but I need you to go down there and holler at Erin, whatever. And, you know, she came and she was like, you like, you know, like, and she came in that situation. She was there for me, you know, like because y'all genuinely still care. Yeah, but like but she had stopped talking to me at this point. Like she had really stopped talking to me, you know, and but this had happened, and I was like, well, maybe we still cool. For her to still be there for me, and that's like she cared. She might have stopped talking to you. She might have ghosted you, but she don't want nothing bad to happen. Yeah, like, and this was a really stressful time or whatever, and like she was still there for me at that time, and then like not to, you know, when she helped me out in that situation,
where I couldn't handle it by myself. And then like so, not too long after that, like I had cut all my hair off, and when I had went natural, well, I wasn't going natural. I just cut all my hair off, and I grew it out because nobody, my husband and my mama, didn't like it, so I grew my hair out. Therefore, I'm natural. He was my boyfriend at the time. Anyway, but like I saw her on campus, she was just like, Erin, like you cut your hair.
Did your mama do that thing? Like, so what are we doing here?
Yeah, and she was mad because she gave me money to get my hair done.
Did she do that thing? Like, so when are you gonna do your hair though?
She was mad. She was like, I gave you money to get your hair done, and so I went. The person I went to was a guy, but he was a barber and hairstylist. So I paid hairstylist money to get all my hair cut off.
He took your money.
Well, whatever. I mean, he used to do my hair. You know, he used to perm my hair, cut it for me when I had the short crop, doing everything.
Oh, okay.
But she gave me money to get my hair done, and then I show up at her house
with
my hair done, but I have no hair. And she was like, "Where my $40 at? Because you could have went to the barbershop and got this done for $12." But
that's an edge.
But well, this was back in like 2000. Before 2010. But anyway, this particular friend, like, she saw me on campus after I cut my hair off, and she was just like, you cool? Like, you can call me if you need anything. And I was like, girl, I'm good, whatever. But I was thinking to myself, like, why would I call you? You ghosted me like you ghosted me like X amount of months ago. You were there for me 2 months ago when this traumatic experience happened. But it was like, she's like, you can call me. And I was like, okay, girl, you know, but I'm good. But I was just like, why would I call you?
Basically, call me if you get like that desperate. I mean,
you totally dumped
not
me.
Like
why would I call you?
But like in case
if I had something going on with me,
like if it's an emergency, like I know right now, this person that I'm talking about, if it was like, I think I'm saying this, I think I'm gonna say a 75% chance the person that I just got done talking about in the same thing for me, if it was a dire emergency,
yeah. Of course, they're not going to leave you hanging.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And vice versa, same thing. If it's a dire, but you know it's got to be dire if you hear from them, or vice versa. You know, because y'all don't hate each other, but y'all are not in communication like that. You know, it's almost kind of like calling not your least favorite auntie, but like your distant auntie. If they hear, you know it's an emergency. They're not gonna leave you out here. Way.
But you're not the ain't sweet pea of the aunties.
Right. But they also not gonna. You know, y'all don't exchange gifts or nothing like that. Never have. But y'all family. Right. So it's like, so maybe in some of these lost relationships, there is like still like this thread of familyness, or akin to family, where like, all right, but if it is something, you know, I'm not gonna have you out here,
right?
You know, so.
Yeah. But I still was just like, but why would I call you?
No, like I'm not going to. Like, but I get
you
it.
Ditched me, and in that situation, like my roommate wasn't able to be with me. She was like, I just can't be with you in that traumatic situation. And I called another girlfriend who knew about it. And that mutual friend called the friend that dumped me and everything, but. And I was like, I was so helpless at that time period, whatever. But I was just like, but still, like,
yeah.
Why would I call you? Yeah.
And especially like, you know, when you think about like that the pain and the hurtfulness, it's like a bad breakup. I mean, it is a breakup.
It is.
You're losing something. But I just wanted to talk about that. I really like the questions that you brought up about like what she played into it and things like that. But from what she's saying,
the other person also, they may play into that stuff too. Yeah, what is that movie? It's a movie with white people in it. And
girl, with any.
But it was like one of the stories in the movie was like this girl, and I could see her face. I just don't know these actors' name, but like she was like, she ended up like liking this guy, getting vibes from him, and he was like, why are you doing this and everything? Like, I'm not, I didn't tell you to do this, and you did this on your own. And she was just like, what the?
People don't have to ask you. That's another thing. When
but you were coming to me, you were talking to me like this, and you got me in this situation where we got a house party. You asked me to do like hosting things, but like when I think but at the end of the night, and I'm looking for my kids at the end of the night, you're like, well, what you doing that for? But I'm like, you had me in a situation like I was hosting the party, like I'm hosting this with you. You know, it was some. I can't. I gotta find this movie.
That's like a thing.
But the other person be putting out vibes.
That plays into a lack of communication. You know, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions too. And like sometimes, like you know, like you said, they both play into it. Like, but when she said that, like, nobody reaches out to her.
Yeah, that's
those people are not your friends.
They're not.
They're your associates. Mm-hmm. And
sometimes you need to read the room.
You're their friend, but they're not your friend.
Right.
And that's like my mama used to like talk to me about certain things. I guess I'm not sure what she went through, and unfortunately now I can't ask her. But like if you think about like, I don't know how your mama was, but like growing up, like you meet your mama's friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. Think about how many friends you have met and like how many you never saw again.
My mom used to be like, she hated it when her dad would tell her, like, she would say, I have this many friends. And he'd be like, no, you don't. And she'd be like, yes, I do. I have 10 best friends. But you don't. I have 10 friends. And he was like, no, you don't.
And you know what?
And she said she used to be mad. And like, she would tell me that story. And like, now it's like, yeah, you can really count on your hand.
You can. And even like looking at like what I just said about like how many of your mama's friends have you met? And I'm saying friends, like we don't know if they're friends or associates. We just like Miss such and such. And you see Miss such and such all the time. Or you hear her on the phone with Miss such and such or Mr. such and such. Or whatever. Like adults are not going to explain their friendship levels or whatever. But like just think about that and like how many you don't see. And I was actually thinking about that the other day. Like what are the stories behind those lost friendships?
Well, I know one of my mama's friendships from when I was little. I don't think my brother was around when this happened. Like in recent years, within me being an adult, she told me one of the reasons why that friendship fizzled. I would like that friend was into like dating married men, and my mama wasn't.
I would like to know, like, I mean, I think it's important we listen to stories and stuff from our mothers and like our people, our aunties that are in our lives. So, what would you do if you had a friend that like made a poor decision, like you feel like, because some people just throw people away. Like
in what sense? Like what decision was
like
it? Like
if you were like if it was your mama's situation, like
where the friend was dating married men,
and if that was the situation, like was that the only reason she stopped talking to her?
Well, I don't know if that was the only reason why, but and the mom was just like she wasn't into that. And
do you have to be into everything that your friends do?
No, I don't think you have to. But I mean, like, if you doing something that I'm just like, I mean, I won't have a problem being like, girl, you tripping.
Yeah,
I've had friends tell me, be like, okay, you doing too much. You need to calm down. And I've told friends like, okay, like, what you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this about? Like, you need to chill. Of course, this is younger, like 20, college, something or whatever. But yeah, like I've had friends be like, okay, you need to calm down. You acting like this. You doing stuff like this. You need to chill. You need to X, Y, and Z. And I've had that conversation with friends, but I can't say what I would do because I haven't been in the situation where I have stopped being friends with somebody because of what they were doing.
That's not really a pattern for you.
Yeah, I can't speak on that. But I will say this: I feel like new friends. Like outside of college, or friends that I might have met through relationships, like a friend that I might have met through you, a friend I might have met through like my husband's relationships, this and that. I feel like certain people know what to do around me and what not to do around me. I'll say that.
So it's not. So what if they weren't? Because I'm pretty sure, like, I don't want to say pretty sure. I don't know what happened with that. But usually in cases of things like that, in that situation, it's not something that's being done around you. It's just something you either they tell you or you find out about.
See, I feel like they wouldn't tell me.
Why you feel like you're
because I carry myself in a certain way and I do certain things. So I feel like if I'm talking as a married woman. Mm-hmm. So if any of my married friends or my friends that are in serious relationship, but they don't have the marriage title, if they were doing anything that went against their marriage, like if they told me, I would be like, you need to stop. I don't believe I would stop. I'm saying this now, I don't believe I would stop being friends with them, but I'd be like, you need to stop. But then I feel like there might be some other friends that may not tell me because of who I am, you know, or because of how I carry myself and how I feel. Because I'm not doing it like that. I'm not doing anything that's going to disrespect my marriage. Disrespect is in like being in another man's face, cheating like that. It may be something I may do that's disrespectful to my husband that I don't realize. It may be like,
but it's not like that.
You know, like nothing like that. But just like, you know, the heavy things that you think like.
Or if you see something like, so if you see like, how much of a problem do you have? I don't want to say pulling your friend by like a coattail, but like hey, like if something did happen in front of you. That was like, it didn't have to have anything to do with marriage, but like in general, like they, like you said, like doing too much or something.
I feel like I would say something like, what you doing?
Just like that.
You know what, on the cool, like I've said this to a friend. She said she was back and forth with a guy she had dated since she was like high school and stuff like that, and like she's younger than me, but like back and forth with a guy, this and that, and like she called me and we were talking, and she said something about this particular person. You in a whole nother relationship, don't even live in the same state or whatever. And we were talking about some things, and she said something about this individual. And I was like, didn't you just say you ain't want no drama in your life? She was like, yeah. I said, so then why are you engaging in this? Why? Like, and she was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I said, you just said you didn't want drama in your life.
It's easier to see.
So why are you doing this?
It's easier to see things from the outside than it is. Like when you're
she ain't need to involve in that. They ain't need to be involved with each other. Why are we still having conversations? Like I'm about to get on my soapbox now. Like
sometimes they need to hear it. Like, you know, we need to hear things like from somebody else. And sometimes you need to say it out loud. Sometimes you need to say stuff out loud just to understand how stupid it was.
She was like, well, you know, maybe I guess.
But did you hear what you said though?
She was like, maybe I guess I will go ahead. But you just said, like 5 minutes ago that you didn't want drama in your life. So why?
This also came up. Are you the friend who would stop being friends with somebody who they like? I'm sorry. Are you the friends who would stop being friends with one of your friends if they kept on talking to this same nigga that they calling you about every 5 seconds?
I can't. I've never been in that situation,
and
so
I mean,
like
the dude is really down bad. It's not even like, oh, they left their socks on the floor. No, like somebody that's continuously either being cheated on or abused.
I have a friend that dated a guy and had children with a guy that I'm just like, bitch, why you keep having kids with him? You know, you're still their friend. I'm still that person's friend, but like.
Apparently, some people will stop being friends with people over stuff like that.
I can understand, and I couldn't understand where it's like I need to distance myself from you because you're not hearing. And some people
will like they'll do the thing. This is also what I've seen is they'll do the thing like they're still gonna be your friends, but you can't talk to me about them no more.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. I could see myself being like, okay, I don't need to hear nothing else about this. Don't come to me with this problem. I'm here for you. However, do not come to me with things.
Just know that my answer will always be the same.
I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Break up with them.
I can see myself being that person.
Okay. I can get that.
And I probably have been. I just can't recall, but I probably have been that person.
And I can understand how it would be frustrating.
And especially you know what? I have been close to saying that, and it was not to someone, but it wasn't a romantic relationship, but it was very much a
toxic friendship.
Stop talking to me about this. Like I wouldn't hear nothing about it.
And I can understand like when it comes to that kind of stuff, because especially if it's your actual friend, because you get frustrated by seeing them continuously hurt or put in certain situations that may be dangerous or unhealthy for their mental health or physical health. Shit, depending on what it is that's going on. You know, you get mad. You know, you get mad about people you care about.
Okay, because my friend, the one I said that we're rebuilding our
And
friendship,
then they want to bring this person around all the time.
It's somebody that
you supposed to be regular.
Look, she dated this dude in college. We've been so many years out of college. Let me see his ass. She cool with him. They ain't, you know, it's water on the bridge, whatever. Let me see.
And then it's like, so things like that happen, and like you know things because your friend has told you, and they're supposed to be able to talk to you and
she'll be like, oh, I saw so and so. I said, hey, why are you speaking to him?
It's hard for like us on the other side to have the same type of forgiveness.
That's why my mama be like, when I come to her, I've learned years ago,
They can't.
She'd be like,
unknow
don't tell me.
stuff.
She was like, do not tell me this because you're just in your emotions right now.
And it doesn't go
But this-
undone.
right.
They
So I
can't
learned a
unknow
long
it.
time ago.
And 9 times out of 10, when you come to people with certain things, you probably only telling them you complaining.
Yeah.
You know, you're not telling them, you know, and I'm not taking up for whatever. This is a figurative person. This is just
Right.
take an average, regular ass relationship.
Right.
If you come in and you complaining and you telling your friends about all this complaining things and but you don't really talk about what's good either.
Yeah.
You know, like it's gonna put a certain.
I've done that before, like with
You gotta-
it was a
and I'm not saying don't talk about it because you should be able to talk to people about things. But
yeah,
you just
it was a
gotta
cousin, and I want to say my friend Monique, and like I might have said something. I mean, you know, we talking relationship talk or whatever, but I will make sure to say Larry is a good guy. So let me tell you how he pissed me off the other day. Because, like, I don't want to, every time I talk to you, I'm telling you something bad about how he pissed me off. Like, I love this man. He's a good man. He just pissed me off. Mm-hmm. But I don't want you, someone who's never really around him except for, like, family reunions or, like, birthdays and stuff. And then you see him and you got to ask you want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm venting right now. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure to do that or whatever.
I think you got to think about who you're talking to.
That too.
You got to think about who you're talking to.
And my mama would, like, when I call her, she has learned to say, and I have learned to say because of this, she'll be like, okay, are you venting or do you need my help? And I'll be like, okay, I'm venting. She's like, okay. Because now she knows
it's
how
different.
to be. And then I'll call her and be like, Mama, I just need you to listen to me. I need to listen. I need you to listen. I just need to vent and get some things off my chest. I'm just frustrated. Okay, let's go. And then sometimes I'll call her and be like, I need some advice. I need you to tell me if I'm wrong about this, and that. And like, we'll be talking and I'll be like, but Mama, but this, and that. And she'll be like, well, you said you want. I said, I do want this. I came to you. I'm just telling you my side, but I came to you.
And ain't it funny
when
we get answers that's different than what we thought it was going to be?
Well, most of the time, when I call my mom and be like, Mama, am I wrong? I know I did something to contribute.
You just don't always know what that thing is.
I just don't. Like the last time I called her, I was like, Mom, I was like, me and my husband got into it. Like, I need this to be fixed because I love him. I know something went wrong. I know I said something. I'm thinking this is what he said. I need to understand the situation so I can fix it because I want to fix the situation. But I was like, okay, this is what I said. How can I clean this up to make this pretty? And she was like, okay, so what you said was not good at all. You did not clean it up. And you do not need to ever say that again. And I was like, but she's like, and I'm not married. I said, you're not married, but we working on your doctrine. You know how to communicate. You've been to how many leadership conventions and conferences and yada, yada, yada. You know how to talk to people. So how do I make this rude statement pretty so that I don't offend my husband, but I get my point across? And she was like, Erin, you don't need to say everything that comes out your mouth.
No, you don't.
And you never need to say that again to your husband.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. But I called you to check me, though. Like, I called you to check me in this sense. Other times I'm calling you to vent. But today I'm calling you because I need you to check me because I know I did something. But I don't really feel like I'm wrong. But I know I'm wrong. But I don't feel like I'm wrong.
But you're trying to, yeah.
I know I am, but I don't feel like it.
I get it.
Go ahead and check me real quick.
I get it.